Hey, thanks for showing up for another video. Today I just real quick want to talk about the LSB Bible. There's like 1,000 videos on this translation already. So there's nothing probably new you're going to get from this other than just my opinion on it. I did make a video a while back and I posted it to a different channel, and then I posted it as the first video on this channel as far as what my favorite Bible translations are. And on that, I had mentioned that I like the ESV. This is my Paul's Leather Company Journal ESV. If you've ever had a Paul's Leather Bible, these things are fantastic. It's a very thick leather. It's very real leather. This is actually the bison leather ESV. I don't know what kind it is. You can see it's just the ESV translation wrapped in beautiful, thick bison leather. I love this Bible. This has been my daily reader, my daily Bible for about 6 months now. By the time you watch this video, it'll be about 6 months. And I've just really enjoyed it, and it's my main Bible. Those of you who watched that previous video, you know ESV is probably my top translation. But it's under attack right now, in a sense, not in a bad way. I just really am starting to like the LSB. Now, what's the LSB? Well, Legacy Standard Bible. It's from the same people that translated the NASB. And for those of you who know me, NASB was my favorite translation probably since Bible college. I graduated from a Bible college, Trinity Bible College, in North Dakota. I graduated from there in 2006, and the NASB, I passionately defended that. I love how accurate it is to the Greek and the Hebrew. The one problem I always had with the NASB is whenever I would go to read it to a congregation and preach out of it, it always felt like it was too blocky and hard for people to understand as they would sit there. It's so close to the word for word Greek and Hebrew that even when it's translated to English, it just felt like too official, too formal almost. And the ESV does a very good job kind of informalizing that language, if that's even a word. The CSB, which was another one of my favorite Bibles in that video, and I still preach out of the CSB mostly. I won't say exclusively, because I do still work the ESV and other translations in when I feel it's appropriate. But I do really recommend that, as it stays very close to the Greek and Hebrew and is incredibly fluid as far as reading. It's a lot more fluid, I think, even than the NIV, and still stays true to the original text. So CSB is a really good translation as well. But for my personal study, I still really enjoy the ESV because it's so close to the Greek and Hebrew. But then John MacArthur contacts the Lockman Foundation, who translated the NASB and went from the 1995 to the 2020 translation, and they kind of made it a little easier to read, and it was really good. And I did enjoy the 2020 translation. But the LSB enters the fight, right? Or enters the chat, or however you want to say it. And I ended up just kind of being fascinated by that. And so I picked up the LSB. I got it on sale on Amazon. I think it was 50 bucks off. And there's no, in this version, you can't hardly see it, but there's no cross references or anything like that. It's just a wide margin, single column Bible. And if you're like me, maybe you enjoy that. Maybe you like that. I like to go in and put my own notes, my own thoughts in there. Now, some people, when it comes to writing in your Bible or highlighting, they say, oh, you shouldn't do that, or I don't like that. That's how we got so many different variants of texts and things. Look, nobody is going to go through your pastoral library and take your notes and seriously think that you were writing inspired words inside your Bible. It's for your own study. And if somebody were to go through my Bible library, and I have quite a few Bibles on the shelves behind me, if you were to go through my Bible library and every little footnote that I wrote in, you thought that was divinely inspired, man, I would feel sorry for you. But the LSB, let's talk about it. Okay, first of all, if you were to pick up this version, it is a genuine leather cover. It's very soft. I think the word is supple. I don't like that word. It sounds weird to me, but it's good. It's pasted in. It's got 2 ribbons if you're into the ribbon thing. For me, ribbons don't matter. I put my own bookmarks where I need to have them when I preach. I already talked about the wide margins, but the translation itself is kind of smooth. It's not bad at all. And if I could say this in my small time with it, I've only had it for about 2 months now. One of the things I would say, and this is my sermon this Sunday, I'm actually preaching out of this, Mark chapter 7. I'm currently in my church. We're going through the Gospel of Mark verse by verse. One of the things that really drives me nuts about some more modern translations, and even ESV and CSB, they do this too. If a verse is questionable, if it was in the King James for a few hundred years, but we found earlier manuscripts, whether there's only 1 or 2 earlier manuscripts or a couple dozen earlier manuscripts that may not have a specific verse in it, they'll take it out completely. Now, the LSB does put it in brackets in verse 16 of chapter 7 of the Gospel of Mark. And this is probably, from my research on this, it probably is one of those things that doesn't really belong in your Bible. It doesn't add, it doesn't take away anything from the meaning. It's literally, and if anyone has ears to hear, let him hear. And if you've read your Bible, you've heard that phrase a dozen times. Jesus says it quite a bit, actually. It doesn't need to be added in. It doesn't need to be taken out. I like the fact they left it in there simply because it's been in there historically, and I don't have a problem with it either way. Now, am I going to preach this on Sunday? No, I am going to reference it and address it. And I think there is something, it's almost an unspoken thing, that whenever you hear the words of Christ, you should listen to them. But it's not something to dwell on for very long. So it's maybe half of a sub-point that I'm actually even talking about this. Again, the Bible itself feels great in your hand. It's kind of big. See, it's as big as my head. Without the hair, it's as big as my head. And it's a preaching Bible. You know, you're going to get a good bicep workout if you're one of those preachers who likes to shake their Bible while they preach. I'm not usually one of those guys. I have to be pretty passionate about something to get like that. But as far as just a basic Bible you're going to read through and you're going to enjoy, I like this translation. Do I recommend it? Sure. Do I still think ESV's top notch? Absolutely. NASB top notch? Absolutely. This is just kind of a variant of the NASB, if I'm being honest. And I like it. So I'm going to preach out of it. I'm going to teach out of it. Again, for our church, our exclusive Bible we use is the CSB. And it seems to really help a lot with the continuity and things. But every now and then, it's all right to deviate and go to a different translation. And so I hope if you get a chance to try this out, there's a free app. There's a free website, there's a free desktop app, a free iPad app, an Android app for the LSB. So you can have access to it and not spend a lot of money on the Bible itself in hardcover or leather cover or whatever. So that's something, if you want to check that out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got something out of it. I hope you give it a try and see what you think and go from there. Now, does that mean you should stop reading your current Bible while you're giving it a try? That's up to you. But I would recommend checking it out because it's a decent translation and it's not too different from the NASB, and I highly recommend the NASB. So I have to highly recommend the LSB. So check it out. And on that note, I'm going to end this video. Hope you have a great rest of your week. God bless.